Thanks so much for being with us here on ANF Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakarin. All right, taking a look at some of the top stories that we're following right now, I want to take you to our top story at the moment, which is on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. And this is of a person who is in critical condition after a wrong-way crash on West Peachtree Street that happened early this morning. So it happened around 3:40 this morning. I'm going to click on this story, and I encourage you to go to AtlantaNewsFirst.com or download our free app if you want to look at the details on this. But as you can see, it is our top story right now on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. This crash that happened on West Peachtree Street and the intersection with 12th Street, where it was around 3:40 this morning. A woman was going the wrong way and possibly speeding, crashing her car into a cement barrier, according to police. And Atlanta News First crew actually saw a car seat on the road. Police would not confirm if a child was involved in the crash, but we're going to keep following this story here on ANF Plus and of all of our platforms, of course. Also want to let you know about several shootings that happened overnight, which are currently under investigation right now. So what we've learned is that there were two separate double shootings, leaving 4 teenagers in the hospital. The first happened on Greenbrier Parkway in southwest Atlanta. A 17-year-old and a 16-year-old were shot. Both were taken to the hospital. Another scene was at a gas station on Flat Shoals Road, where police found a 19-year-old man shot. And not far from that location on Boulder Crest Road, a 17-year-old girl was shot as well. Now, police say that they believe that the last two scenes are somehow connected. All of these incidents are under investigation, and of course we're continuing to follow the latest. We'll update you here on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, Atlanta News First Plus, and again, download our free app. I can't emphasize enough if you want to get updates sent right to your phone. Also, we continue to keep our eyes on the courtroom in Fulton County of the YSL RICO trial, and what we are watching for, some potentially very big developments that could happen today. First of all, we are watching for the possibility of a mistrial being declared. That is something that the judge has been mulling over, and essentially, you know, this is not the first time that there have been calls for a mistrial. Remember, Judge Paige Reese Whitaker, who is now in the seat overseeing this case, is the third judge on this case. The first judge, Earl Glanville, was recused from the case, and at the time there were claims of bias and also calls for a mistrial regarding that. So now this latest discussion about the potential for a mistrial stems from something that happened last week on the stand when a state's witness, again a witness for the prosecution, read an unredacted version of a report rather than the redacted version, and essentially read #FreeQuay, which the defense argued implied that, you know, some of the defendants had done time behind bars, and that was prejudicial. So, you know, Paige Reese Whitaker is deciding whether a mistrial should be declared. That's something that we're waiting to hear the outcome on today. In addition, we have learned that some of the defendants have been meeting with Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, discussing the possibility of plea deals. So that's the other thing that we're watching for. Are there going to be any plea deals reached today? I want to let you know that at 1 p.m., we have, you know, one of our special guests, an attorney who is, you know, really a good friend of Atlanta News First, is going to come in. He practices criminal law. He's going to join us for analysis on this case and all these moving parts. And again, this is Georgia's longest running criminal trial. In January of 2025, it's going to hit the 2-year mark. So certainly a mistrial would take us back to the beginning. And that's something that, you know, there is also concern about. But here, my colleague Sarah Hammond has put together more background on where we are in this case.
Court was set to resume yesterday for the first time since Wednesday, but press was asked to stay in the media room while attorneys spoke privately. But we are anticipating a 9:30 start time this morning to hopefully get some answers to those questions. There is speculation that plea deals are being worked out behind closed doors. At least one attorney for a Young Thug co-defendant confirmed meeting with Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis. The defendants are facing a series of racketeering and organized crime charges. The latest drama started Wednesday after a misstep by the state during witness testimony, prompting defense attorneys to ask for a mistrial. That's something the judge is still considering. Attorney Joshua Schiffer, who is unaffiliated with this case, says there are a number of possibilities as to how this could go.
But everything is on the table right now. It's all up to how aggressive the state and the defense want to be at this specific juncture.
All parties involved have been tight-lipped about what has been going on since that mistrial motion was filed. But again, we hope to start getting some answers as court resumes at 9:30 this morning. At the Fulton County Courthouse, I'm Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
All right, also, the Alabama man who threatened Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, threatened her life, will be sentenced today. Arthur Ray Henson pleaded guilty to the crime in June. He admitted making the calls last August. At the time, he said he was angry over the election interference investigation into former President Donald Trump. Of course, we're going to follow that and let you know the sentence just as soon as that is determined. Also, want to let you know about this. Some solemn tributes to honor an iconic Atlanta musician. So Thursday, November 7th, the city of East Point is going to unveil a monument for Rico Wade. He died in April due to heart failure. He was only 52 years old. He was a member of the production group called Organized Noise, and together they created the sound that launched so many careers, including Outkast, Goody Mob, Future, and other really famous and well-respected Atlanta-based acts. So may he rest in peace, and he will be honored in the city of East Point. Okay, let's switch over to the forecast now with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. And, it definitely has not felt like late October, almost November to me.
Oh my goodness, no. We've been well above average, and I hope you like that kind of weather because it is here to stay for quite a while. So personally, I love the warm weather. I do love fall. It is my favorite season here in Georgia, but I also can get behind some warmer temperatures. So because after yesterday, where you can see on your screen there, we only had a high of 69 degrees. I was like, ooh, that was a little chilly for me. It was a little too chilly, a little too damp, a little too cloudy. Wasn't a fan, so I was like, maybe I'm not ready for fall and winter just yet. Either way, that's a look at yesterday. Not record-breaking. We were actually near average, and now we're about to go the opposite direction and go back above average. So get ready for it, everyone. Today is one of those days. We will go back above average. We started with cloudy skies, a little bit of patchy fog, but we're starting to see a little more sunshine, and we'll see more sunshine this afternoon, especially compared to yesterday. We were under the influence of a very strong wedge yesterday. Essentially what that is, an area of high pressure well to our northeast, and it spills cooler air off the Appalachian Mountains, and it kind of traps in any moisture that was lingering behind our front and gives us that cloudy kind of misty feel. So today, as that weakens and that high starts to push off the coast, our wind starts to come in off the Atlantic. That will give us not only more sunshine, but also some warmer temperatures. So still low 70s for the mountains. Atlanta, high of 74. Some spots will head into the mid 70s today, like Athens, Eatonton, Rome, LaGrange, Thomaston. Overall, a really comfortable day today. As I mentioned, that high that has been pulling in cooler air from the north is going to start to shift off the coast and bring our wind more so easterly off the Atlantic. The Atlantic, a warmer body of water. We also have the Gulf Stream that rides along the Atlantic coastline there. That's a very warm kind of channel of water. So when we're under the influence of that, our temperatures naturally get warmer, and that is going to pull in a little more moisture. What that means, we'll see mostly cloudy skies starting tomorrow, maybe a few coastal showers, and some of those showers will try to move into North Georgia. We could see maybe a spotty shower or two Wednesday. Doesn't look like we'll pick up any measurable rainfall at the airport yet, and will also be warmer. It'll kind of just continue our warming trend. When it comes to rain, again, here's a look at 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. So tomorrow, stepping out the door, temperatures will still be cool, so you'll need a light jacket tomorrow morning, and our mornings will generally stay near 60. So if that's chilly to you, it is to me. A light jacket, good idea. If you can handle it without the jacket, then you don't need it anymore. But regardless, we'll start mostly cloudy. And as we go through late morning, we'll see a gradual clearing of skies. So you'll kind of see a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. You'll see mostly cloudy skies at times. Other times you'll see partly cloudy skies. But generally, we won't see wall-to-wall sunshine is what I'm trying to say. Heading into the afternoon, again, maybe a spotty shower. Temperatures closer to 80 degrees tomorrow. And as we head into Halloween, maybe a few mountain showers on Thursday. The mountains, because of their topography, they naturally have that peak that adds a little extra lift just because of what they are. We could have a few showers that higher moisture in place in the mountains Thursday morning. We'll wake up in the 60s. And then Thursday, of course, being Halloween, we'll have a high near 80 degrees. Trick-or-treating hour, we'll talk about that in just a second. You can kind of guess with the high in the 80s, you're not going to need the jacket with the Halloween costumes. So despite the fact that we're going to have at least a small rain chance, just spotty showers, doesn't look like we're going to pick up any measurable rain. Right now, we have a 29-day stretch without any measurable rainfall. That's not a record. The record is 43 days set back in 2016. But if we don't get any rain in October, which of course we're kind of running out of days here, it'll be the first ever dry month in the city of Atlanta that we've ever recorded. And right now that looks like that is going to happen. So we'll be watching. And if it happens, add us to the record books, right? Heading into Halloween, here's a look at that forecast. So naturally Halloween looking dry. That is the last day of the month. And it'll be warm. 80 degrees for a high temperature. That's around 3 o'clock. So if any of the students are doing stuff at school, kind of hanging out outside, doing, lunch trick-or-treating or recess trick-or-treating, it'll be warm. But in the evening hours, mid to upper 70s for trick-or-treating hour. If you have some older kids who trick-or-treat a little later, we're looking more so low 70s. But nonetheless, you won't need a jacket for your Halloween costumes. When it does... heading past Halloween, so we're kind of just missing the mark here. We'll have a cold front move in as we head into Friday, and that will bring at least a small chance for rain for us. This front, unfortunately, is going to bring quite the rainy Halloween for places like Mississippi. So if you have any family out there, or maybe you were planning on making a long weekend and going to see family out in Mississippi, if that's your thing and you do Halloween with your family, it's going to be a little rainy out to our west. Thankfully, we'll be dry, but rain will come in on the 1st of November, potentially. Now, will we get some measurable rainfall in Atlanta? Potentially, but we are, again, going to end the month of October, it looks like, dry, and if we do have any measurable rainfall, it might be just a day too late in order to keep us out of the record books. So something really interesting going on here for the month of October. Taking a look at your First Alert 7-day forecast. Don't forget, you see that clock there over the weekend. You get that extra hour of sleep. So if you don't set your clocks on your microwave and your stove, you might walk into your kitchen and get a little confused about what time it is. So make sure you do that overnight. A lot of our phones, of course, turn back automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. But overall, a nice and warm week. Temperatures will generally stay in the upper 70s through most of the week into the upcoming weekend. That cold front on Friday will bring us a small chance for rain, and it'll just gradually cool us through the weekend. So while Saturday will be warm near 80, Sunday will be in the low 70s, and it looks like we'll stay in the low 70s and mostly dry heading in next week. So kind of going just beyond the 7-day, of course, into Election Day on Tuesday. Right now, the weather looks great. If you aren't planning on early voting and you're waiting till the actual day, the weather, the weather should not get in your way for that. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for Atlanta News First Plus for your news and weather stories. We always appreciate you spending some time with us. I hope you make it a wonderful day.